All right. So anyway, here's a really funny sketch.
Oh, a text from Junipers' mom. Hey, mind if we swing?
Oh shit. Sorry.
Oh, a text from Junipers' mom. Hey, mind if we swing by? We can come in and play for a little while. What is she going to think of my house? She's crunchier than me. Sure, come on over. I've got some work to do. Linen apron. Does it smell like fermentation in here? It smells kind of fermenty. We'll just burn a little sage. It'll freshen it up in here. How embarrassing. They were out of my probiotic power dish soap that I normally buy, so I had to buy 7th generation. We'll just put that right there. That looks really good. I'm really not sure what these bristles are made out of. I think it's a natural plant material, but I'm not sure. Oh, let me try and get this character off of here. Oh, I don't have time for this. I've been saving my homemade breast milk soap for an occasion such as this. What if she wants to stay for lunch? I don't want her to know I buy pre-made pasta sauce. Hey, guys! Care for a bottle of kombucha?
That's hilarious. It's so fucking true, too. That's how women are funny, is when they're making fun of what they know. This is so funny. Yeah, like women will watch that and be like, so true. Because there is a way to still have those materialistic traps and status traps, even when you're like a super earthy homesteader. It's still like, and the funniest part is like, it's Juniper's mom. It's like, they always have these names like Cedar and Juniper and shit. And then like, and they're cool. Don't get me wrong. I get it. Everyone's getting it. Everyone gets it. But then there's always this like weird thing with like, does it smell like fermentation? Because earthy type women start looking up to even more earthy women. Like my wife, women can't help themselves. They always do this. Like my wife just like follows other like homesteading women that do even more than her. And she's just like, she's such a rock star. She's doing so, I mean, and they like look up to each other like that. They always do that. And so then they just change instead of Gucci purses and fucking abortions like cities, it becomes like, who can ferment? Like, all right, like right now my wife is really looking up to this woman who makes her own root beer. She's like, oh, she ferments her own root beer. I'm like, wow. She's like, I wonder if she'll give me the recipe. I'm like, does she sell it for money? She's like, no. I'm like, why wouldn't she? She's like, because we're supposed to like earn the process. I'm like, what? Great female programming? Yeah, but it's their nature. It's not programming. This is why it's all about living a good life, because that isn't bad. Like having women in these subtle little competitions with each other about the details of life that men don't care about. Like, not at all. Like everything that they were just talking about, I think is like retarded. But all those details together make a home. And so when I come in and there's giggling kids and, the smell of fresh food that my wife's making and everything's like nice, like each detail I don't register. But overall, I'm like, what a great home my wife's made. And so they kind of like use each other to motivate. Like a lot of women have watched my wife and now they make sourdough bread and their husbands don't know why their life got better, but they're like, wow, fucking, you're such a good wife. But they don't know why. It's not because they used like organic bristles or like they started, I don't know. There's a million things that they do and we don't really register it. But overall, we can tell that our life is improved. And that's why that sketch is so funny, because they really do that. And it's good. It's a good thing. It's like men in sports competitions where it's like, who's the fastest? For women, it's more like they don't compete in the same way men do. It's not like, oh, I'm a more homie than her. It's the details are competing. Where they register each other's like homie shit. And then they're like, oh, I should do that. And so the programming that's bad for women is like meaningless purses and all that shit. But keeping up with the Junipers, yeah. But if you're competing over who has a warmer, more natural home, it's a win-win for everybody. Because the women become friends. It's not like she doesn't like Juniper's mom. It's just like they're kind of like always sizing up each other's details in order to make their homes better. It's not like how men do it. It's not like, oh, I got a better gun than you, fag. It's like subtle, and they look up to each other for it. Like when a woman is doing really cool homey stuff, my wife is like loves them for it. She's like, wow, she's fucking awesome. That it's really interesting. And so watching Amy just like covet a root beer fermentation recipe like women would covet a Gucci bag is like, I know it's a win. Because our nature isn't bad. It's how it's used. Like male's protective nature, our ability to do violence is great for protecting the family. It gets hijacked for war. It's like we have a false notion of our family being the state or the nation. That's why we call it either her or him based on if you're doing a maternal or a paternal spell. And then you're fighting for your mother, like Mother Russia, you know, or like Uncle Sam for us or whatever. It's like we're designed to fight for our families with violence. And so it's hijacked and used horribly.